Hey, why do you love calculus? Well, why do I eat healthy? I don't. So I decided to reach out to a few special people who could help me answer this question. So without further ado, let's take a step back and turn up the love on calculus.
Maybe you should tell us the question.
Nope, I am not gonna. No, I don't do that. Why do you love calculus?
We're not using calculus in our job field, but we using all the formula to find out the solution. But formula is coming from the calculus.
It's very beautiful. Just by itself being a beautiful system, you could analyze things. I think it's very good.
Dad, why can't you have an answer like that? Okay, thank you.
So, howdy out there. My name is Patrick Jones. I live here in Austin, Texas in the good old USA. I think people would better know me under the moniker of Patrick JMT. I've got a popular, I'd like to think popular education math channel on YouTube where I teach different mathematical topics. There's supplements, and that's actually what I do now for a living. So why do I love calculus? I wanted to be a philosophy major when I first started college. I was, the starry-eyed young man, and I thought, I've got all these deep questions and I want to find answers to them. One of my favorite philosophy professors took me aside and said, guess what, you're not going to get a job with philosophy most likely. So one of my favorite quotes was that mathematics is the purest of all philosophies, and I thought, well, that's a good one because philosophy, a lot of it you can debate, but mathematics makes progress. History has rewritten itself many times, over the millennia. Art, goes in and out of vogue. That stuff gets lost as well. Tastes change, but math is permanent. Once you have a correct result that you can verify, it's right, and there's no changing it ever. Even like this morning, I was putting milk in my coffee, and just the way that milk diffuses, it's very beautiful to look at, but there's a way to actually describe that with mathematics, and one of the pinnacles so far of human thought, and will be forever.
I originally became interested in calculus because my father's a detective and he uses calculus all the time. They use it to find, like in car crashes, to find how fast cars were going, how they were hit, and that can help them determine what happened. And then, also with, of course, shootings, find out angles of bullets. When I started studying calculus, what I loved about it was that it had taken everything we had learned, from algebra 2, pre-calculus, trigonometry, and just tied that all together. And I also loved it because my high school teacher loved to give us examples of how we could use it in the real world. So in calculus, that's how we started figuring out much more challenging problems.
왜 미적분을 좋아하시나요?
철도에서도 열차가 서울에서 부산을 가는데 어떤 속도로 어떻게 달려야 부산까지 4시간 안에 도착한다, 이건 계산이 되는데, 그래서 그런 걸 전부 그 미적분을 이용을 해서 계산이 되기 때문에 좋아한다기보다 기본적으로 해야 되는 그런 그 수학적인 지식이라고 볼 수 있어요.
감사합니다. 왜 민적분을 좋아하시나요?
I don't like calculus. I like life rather than calculus. Okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Hello, my name is Jung. I am currently studying computer science at University of California, San Diego. I aim to work as a software engineer after graduating. First question. I love calculus because it turns ideas into inventions. Without calculus, there will be no phones, and you know what happens when you don't have a phone. If calculus were a person, she would be some hot geeky Asian girl who is really hard to get to know, but when you do, you would feel very accomplished.
Hi, my name is Sasuke, and I am studying Comp-Sci at UCSD. I aim to become a DJ after graduating, and I love calculus because it makes me feel smart. If calculus were a person, calculus would be like a girlfriend. Very hard to understand.
My name is Ju-Young Park, and I'm a student at KAU Korean Aerospace University, and I'm studying to become a pilot.
Alright. Why do you love calculus?
I love calculus because I think it's very exciting that like the thoughts and the theories and that people come up with can be used practically in real life.
왜 미적분을 좋아하시나요?
미적분은 거짓말을 하지 않습니다.
안 될 것 같은데요. 눈이 풀려서 안 될 것 같아요. 눈이 풀려.
어려운 문제를 간단하게 표현할 수 있어서 좋아요.
왜 미적분을 좋아하시나요?
내가 생활하는 모든 걸 설명할 수 있어서 좋아하는 것 같습니다.
My name's Jeff Hayes. I'm a professor in the Chemical and Biological Engineering Department at Montana State University.
What is the status on the mathematical models that were mentioned in the TED Talks video from 2012?
The first project that you mentioned with microbubbles in the heart. What we're trying to do there is kind of interesting. We have a mathematical model of blood flow in the heart. The challenge is every mathematical model, always, has assumptions in it. We can't model nature exactly as it is. We want to have a mathematical model that is also influenced by the data. And our hope is that by doing that, we get a mathematical model that's more accurate. The other project you asked about was killing tumor cells, and we are still working on that project with hyperthermia. But we made an interesting discovery along the way. You could use that process of producing gold nanoparticles also to potentially measure radiation doses, detecting it through a color change in the solution.
So do you guys have other projects you're currently working on?
I do. A biological engineer might use a microorganism to make insulin that people with diabetes can then use. And when they make that insulin, they'll always use a very, very pure culture. And if any other microorganisms get into that process, they have to shut the whole thing down. However, if we look around us in nature, what we find is that really productive systems often have a mixture of microorganisms. We're developing mathematical models of these systems. We call them microbial consortia because they're a mixture of microorganisms. Could we add a second or a third microorganism to the culture where we're trying to make insulin so that we can make more insulin? So if we have a mathematical model, maybe that can help us identify the most likely candidates for these microbial consortia to improve productivity.
Why do you love calculus?
I think at the end of the day, the thing I love about calculus is it allows us to understand how things change and to some extent try and predict the future. We're not always right, we're often wrong, but it's fun to try.
I'm a theoretical physicist. I've been in this business for 30 years. I've been recently working on certain quantum field theory related to string theory, especially 4, 5, 6 dimensional space-time, where there are lots of new physics which is still being discovered. At the moment we're in a really exciting stage. I'm working on a couple of projects which is really cutting edge, competing with anybody in the world. And I'm working with really smart young people around me, and I'm extremely happy with that.
Why do you love calculus?
Why do I love? It's because it's easy. Science of calculus, you have to think slowly. you cannot understand immediately. You have to chew it, swallow it, and digest it. Somebody in UPenn was giving a physics course to pre-meds, and he was talking about police, and the students raised hand. Professor, what is that got to do with medical school? And that was very bold question. And the professor said, without losing a bit, it saves life. Saves life? So students asked after a few minutes, raising hand, Professor, why it saves life? Professor, it keeps dumb kids from medical school. I remember also struggling with physics at the beginning. What? I couldn't understand. I mean, you read the word and you feel like you understand, but you cannot solve the problem.
Exactly. That's how I feel.
I went through that stage. But the only thing is you have to visualize. Most of physics PhDs, they don't do physics. They make money. Oh no, they make a lot more money than professors. So only 10% of physics PhD remaining. Less than 10 become a professor. And they go to real world and they make a lot more money. Once you understand it, you don't need to memorize anything. That's the fun part of physics.
That's incredible.
And then you solve the whole things. It's like music.
Without using any mathematical terms or references, describe calculus.
Calculus is you divide and conquer.
You divide and conquer.
Yeah. Good.
Alright, thank you.
Alright.
So I learned a lot. And I'm not just talking about calculus. This project gave me the opportunity to talk and learn from people who I otherwise would never have met. But on top of the reasons why they love calculus, I now have one of my own. Calculus showed me how much I've grown and how far I've come. So why do I love calculus? I love calculus because I started from addition, now I hear. Started from subtraction, now I peak calculus here. Started from times tables, now I hear. Started from 84, now it's 89 here. Love it. Started from division, now I hear. Started from FFX, now it's F of U. Chip figure. Started from algebra, now I hear. Started from pre-calculus, now I'm at my limit here. Derivative shows a rate of change. Only thing that changed was my A plus 2 on F, brother. I was learning how to integrate. Studied calipers, but still got a 48 ball. Human revolution was a monster. Now I play it smart and just use a dishwasher, brother. I didn't think for 2 chains he was cool. Now I left the man, I just use a chain rule and me.
I'm gonna take you there, so hard to tell you what I see in you and I. Maybe we were meant to be in another life. But just sitting here with you, it feels so right, it feels so right. Can we start with something small and let it ride?